The air is thick, like you can almost taste the dust and the dry heat of a 100-degree afternoon. Ariel here, and I want you to imagine sitting under the only shade for miles, a lone tree, feeling like you're trapped inside a giant cooking pot. You look over at the person you love most, and you see moisture on her face. But it isn't the sweat you'd expect in this sweltering heat. It's tears.
It's such a heavy way to start a story, Ariel. Alex here, that moment of realization for Ya Xiao, seeing Vanessa's tears and hearing her small trembling voice say that this is the last time they'll ever see each other. It's like the world just stops spinning, right? Everything around them is burning up. But her words are what really scorches him.
But wait, I have to jump in. Elena here. I mean, why the sudden finality? They're sitting there, presumably in love, and she just drops this bomb because her parents said so? It feels so abrupt. I want to know what led to that specific moment under the tree. Was there a warning, or did the floor just drop out from under them that day?
That's the thing, Elena. Ya Xiao is left reeling. He's thinking, what did I do? I thought her family liked me. It's that classic narrative tension where the protagonist is completely in the dark while their world is being dismantled by forces they can't even see yet. The heat of the sun is nothing compared to the confusion he's feeling.
Exactly. And the source of that confusion is actually something quite poisonous: gossip. It turns out a neighbor had been whispering in her parents' ears. This wasn't just small talk, it was a calculated character assassination. They were told Ya Xiao was an abuser, that he'd kicked and slapped his ex-wife. Pure lies, but in a tight-knit community, those whispers carry the weight of law.
Okay, but where did these lies even come from? People don't usually just invent stories that specific out of thin air. There's always a catalyst, right? Who has enough spite to try and ruin a man's future marriage like that? It sounds like a vendetta.
Oh, it was a vendetta, Elena. It traces back to what Ya Xiao calls his ugly cousin. This cousin was dating a woman whose sister had been with Ya Xiao. It's this tangled web of connections. The cousin apparently lied to the family to cover his own tracks, or maybe just out of pure jealousy. He painted Ya Xiao as the villain to make himself look better, I guess.
It's fascinating and terrible how a lie can travel through so many hands or mouths before it reaches the people who matter. The daughter-in-law of Vanessa's uncle was the one visiting the parents, bringing these stories. It's like a game of telephone, where the message gets more distorted and dangerous at every turn. By the time it reached Vanessa's parents, it was gospel truth to them.
I honestly find the ugly cousin description so visceral. Ya Xiao doesn't hold back. He links the physical appearance to the moral character, which is a very old-school way of storytelling. But it really highlights the bitterness he feels. He's looking at his life falling apart, and he points directly at this one person's deceit.
And the fallout was immediate. They didn't see each other for a week. Can you imagine? After that day under the tree, just silence, except for the phone calls. They'd talk and they'd cry, caught between their love for each other and the crushing weight of family disapproval. It's that agonizing space where you're fighting for a relationship that's being judged by people who don't even know the real you.
But Ya Xiao didn't just sit back and take it. He decided to face the fire. He tells Vanessa, "I want to talk to your mom." That takes a lot of guts, especially when you know the whole family is basically holding a tribunal against you. He calls himself a king, not a low-class man. He has this inherent sense of dignity that he refuses to let them strip away.
Wait, let's talk about that meeting. He drives down Western Street, listening to his favorite CDs, trying to keep his cool. He sees the elders walking toward the house. He thinks he's just getting permission to see her, but he's actually walking into a full-blown council. It's like walking into a trap you didn't know was set, even though you were the one who asked for the meeting.
It's such a surreal scene. He walks in, shakes everyone's hand, and they all just sit there watching TV. He says he can't even remember what was on the screen. The tension must have been suffocating. All these older people, the gatekeepers of the family's honor, just sitting in silence, watching him while a sitcom or the news blares in the background.
And then one by one, they start to disappear. They just filter out of the room until it's only Yasho and Vanessa left. He's so distracted by her, because he's missed her so much it felt like a lifetime, that he doesn't even realize the meeting is over. He says he destroyed the meeting because he was so focused on her. He missed the cues.
I'm skeptical about that part, though. Did he really destroy it? Or did his presence and his willingness to show up just silence the gossip? Sometimes when you face your accusers directly, the lies just evaporate because they can't stand up to the reality of who you are. Maybe the elders saw his character just by how he carried himself.
That's a great point, Elena. It's like his silence and his focus on Vanessa spoke louder than any defense he could have mounted. Whatever happened in that living room, it worked. They were free. They got married, they started a family, and they had 4 children together. It's the happy ending everyone hopes for after such a dramatic beginning.
But the story doesn't end at the wedding, does it? Life is rarely that simple. They had 15 years together. 15 years of building a life, raising kids, sharing a home. But then things changed. Yashao reflects on the fact that they didn't make it to the sunset together. They're no longer a couple.
This is where the story gets really poignant for me. He talks about how to know the importance of love. You have to experience the brokenness. That's a heavy realization. It's not just about the fairy tale. It's about the scars you carry afterward and how they shape your understanding of what you had.
And then comes the news about the cancer. Vanessa gets sick, and even though they aren't together, Yashao is still there in spirit. He's praying for her. He mentions his father, Abraxas, answering his prayers. It's a very spiritual turn. He's not bitter about the divorce. He's focused on her survival and her well-being.
It's a beautiful testament to a deep kind of love that transcends marriage. He travels to her state just to be near, to pray. And when he hears from their son that the cancer is gone, his joy is so palpable. Be strong, okay? He says. It's like he's still her protector in a way, even if the roles have changed.
But I have to bring up the ugly cousin again. Yashao doesn't just leave that thread hanging. He talks about the cousin going through car accidents, hospital bills, child support. He sees it as a form of divine justice or karma. He even calls the cousin's family animals incarnated into human form. That's some incredibly strong language. Is that really justice, or is it just lingering resentment?
It's definitely intense, Elena. He's connecting the cousin's actions, the gossip and the lies, to his current misfortunes. In Yashao's worldview, Abraxas is watching everything in the universe. He sees the cousin's suffering as a direct consequence of the pain he caused others. It's a very reap what you sow philosophy.
It's also a warning to others, right? He ends with, "Stop the gossip of others. Amen." He's using his own life story as a cautionary tale. He wants people to understand that words have power. They can break a family apart, but they can also come back to haunt the person who spoke them.
I wonder, though, if the focus on the cousin's ugliness and the animal comparison distracts from the grace he shows Vanessa. It's such a sharp contrast. On one hand, you have this deep, prayerful love for his ex-wife, and on the other, this almost biblical wrath for the man who tried to stop their union.
Maybe those two things are linked, though. Maybe his love for Vanessa is so fierce because he had to fight so hard against those lies to have her in the first place. When someone tries to destroy something sacred to you, it's hard to just let that go, even years later. The brokenness he mentions applies to the whole journey, not just the end of the marriage.
And think about the kids. 4 children who wouldn't exist if Yashao hadn't walked into that room of elders. When he looks at his family, he sees the victory over those rumors. The cousin didn't just try to stop a wedding, he tried to prevent the whole future from happening. That's a huge burden to carry.
It really makes you think about the elders in our own lives. Who are the people whose opinions we let dictate our happiness? Vanessa and Yashao almost lost 15 years of life together because of a neighbor's gossip. It's a miracle they had the strength to push past it, even if it didn't last forever.
Honestly, that's the core of the story for me. The resilience of the human spirit when faced with false accusations. Yashao could have just walked away that day under the tree. He could have said, "Fine, if your parents hate me, I'm out." But he didn't. He drove down Western Street, he faced the silence of the elders, and he claimed his life.
And the spiritual element with Abraxas, it adds this layer of cosmic oversight. He feels like he's not just fighting a cousin or a neighbor, but that there's a higher power involved in the truth coming out. Whether you call it God, the universe, or Abraxas, it's that belief that the truth will eventually outshine the lie.
I'm still hung up on the destroying the meeting part. I mean, imagine being an elder, coming there to judge this young man, and he's so clearly head over heels in love with the girl that he doesn't even notice you're there to interrogate him. It's actually kind of a genius move, even if it was accidental. It's hard to believe a man is a violent abuser when he's looking at your daughter like she's the only thing in the world.
Exactly. It's the ultimate show, don't tell. He didn't need to argue his case. His devotion was the only evidence they needed. It's like he bypassed their logic and went straight to their hearts. It's such a powerful image. The elders slowly slipping out of the room, realizing there's no trial needed here.
And then the transition to the present day. Vanessa's cancer being gone. That feels like the final resolution. Even though the marriage ended, the connection remains. He's happy for her. He's grateful for the 15 years. There's a sense of peace there despite the harsh words for the cousin.
It's a complex emotional landscape for sure. It's not a clean, happily ever after, but it's a truthfully ever after. He's honest about the pain, the divorce, the anger, and the hope. It feels real. It's not a polished story, it's a lived one.
Let's go back to that heat for a second. That 100-degree day under the tree. It's such a perfect metaphor for the pressure they were under. Everything was at a boiling point. If they hadn't found a way to cool things down, to find the truth, their whole future would have just evaporated like water on a hot stone.
I love how he describes the sound of the voices in the back of the house during the meeting. He says it sounded like insects crying out in the bush outside the window. It's like the gossip and the judgment had been relegated to just background noise. They didn't matter anymore. Only Vanessa mattered.
But what about the cousin? Yashao says he still follows him today, doing the same things. That implies the battle isn't really over. There's still this shadow of gossip and negativity lurking. It's a reminder that even when you win, some people never stop trying to pull you down.
That's true, Elena. The ugly cousin isn't just one person. He's a symbol of all the petty, jealous forces that try to disrupt love. Yashao's message is to stay strong, stay a king, and trust that something like Abraxas is watching over the balance of things. It's a call to integrity in the face of malice.
It really makes you wonder about the stories being told about us that we never hear. How many daughter-in-laws are out there visiting parents and spreading half-truths? It's a bit terrifying if you think about it too much. But Yashao's story shows that you can confront those shadows.
I think the most important takeaway is that brokenness he mentioned. The idea that you can't fully appreciate the light without knowing the dark. Their love was tested by fire, literally with that heat, and it came out stronger, at least for those 15 years. And even now, that love is transformed into something that can pray for healing.
It's a narrative arc that covers the whole spectrum of human experience. from the desperate tears of a breakup to the quiet joy of a recovery from illness. It's about the stories we create in life, just like Yashao said. Every challenge is just another chapter.
And he's still creating those stories. He's sharing this one for entertainment purposes. But you can tell it's deeply permanent. It's a way of processing the past and setting a path for the future. He's standing tall, despite everything.
I hope Vanessa knows he's still praying for her. That kind of support, even from a distance, is so powerful. It's like the opposite of the cousin's gossip. Instead of words that destroy, he's using words that heal. That's the real victory in this story.
Exactly. The rumors might have started the fire, but Yashao's faith and his commitment to the truth are what finally put it out. It's a long road from that tree to where he is now, but he made it, and he's still walking.
Let's talk a bit more about the Abraxas figure. It's not a name you hear every day. It has these ancient Gnostic roots, a deity that represents both good and evil, the whole of the universe. It fits this story perfectly because the story itself is so full of both extreme light and extreme shadow.
That makes so much sense, Alex. Yashao isn't just looking for a good god to save him. He's looking at a universe that encompasses the ugly cousin and the beautiful marriage. It's a more holistic way of seeing the world. Everything. The cancer, the lies, the 4 kids. It's all part of the same grand design.
And that design requires us to be active participants. Yashao didn't just wait for Abraxas to fix things. He got in his car and drove to Western Street. He took action. He proved himself to the elders. It's that combination of faith and works that seems to be his guiding principle.
You know, the detail about the favorite CD playing in the car always sticks with me. It's such a human touch. He's nervous, he's going to a life-changing meeting, and he's trying to find some peace in his music. It's those small moments of normalcy in the middle of a crisis that make a story feel so grounded.
I wonder what he was listening to. Something upbeat to give him courage, or something calm to settle his nerves. Either way, it's like his own personal soundtrack to that moment of transition. From a man being whispered about to a man standing his ground.
And then, the silence of the house. He describes it so vividly. The elders watching TV, the disappearing people. It's almost dreamlike. It's like he stepped into a different dimension where the rules of normal social interaction didn't apply. He was just in this bubble with Vanessa.
It really highlights how love can make you blind to everything else. He was so stupid, as he puts it. But that stupidity was actually his greatest strength. He wasn't there to play politics with the elders. He was there for her. And that authenticity is what won the day.
I think we all have those moments where we're so focused on what matters that we miss the important things happening around us. But maybe those important things, the formalities, the meetings, aren't actually what matters in the end. Maybe the only thing that mattered was that he showed up.
Showing up is half the battle, right? Especially when the rumors are telling everyone you're someone you're not. By being there, he forced them to reconcile the monster they'd heard about with the man standing in their living room shaking their hands.
In the aftermath, 15 years of marriage, that's a long time to prove a point. You can't fake a good character for 15 years and 4 children. The life they built was the ultimate rebuttal to the cousin's lies. It was a living, breathing testament to the truth.
I still feel for him, though, regarding the divorce. To fight that hard and then have it not reach the sunset, that's a tough pill to swallow. But he doesn't sound bitter toward Vanessa. He sounds like he's at peace with the journey they took together.
He even says, "I hope you forgive me." That shows a lot of self-reflection. He's not just blaming the cousin or the parents for the end. He's taking his own share of the responsibility. It's a very mature way to look at a failed relationship.
And the fact that he's still praying for her, even after everything, that's the definition of grace. He's not asking for her back. He's asking for her to be healthy and strong. He's happy the cancer is gone. It's a very pure form of love.
But man, that cousin, the animal incarnation part is just so wild. It's like Yashao is saying that some people are just fundamentally different in their nature, that they don't have the same capacity for truth or empathy. It's a very harsh judgment, but after what he went through, you can see why he'd feel that way.
It's a way of making sense of the senseless, isn't it? Why would someone try to ruin your life for no reason? If you believe they're animals, it gives you a reason. It's just their nature. It's a way to detach from the pain they caused by saying they don't even operate on the same human level.
And he links it back to the universe. Abraxas is watching. The cousin's accidents and bills aren't just bad luck. They're the universe correcting itself. It's a way of finding order in the chaos of life. If you do bad things will happen to you.
It's a powerful warning. Stop the gossip of others. It's the moral of the story. Don't be the person who whispers in the shadows, because those shadows will eventually come for you too. It's a universal theme, really.
It's also a reminder to the listeners to check their sources. Who are you listening to? Are you letting a daughter-in-law or an ugly cousin influence your view of someone you should love or respect? We all need to be more careful with the information we consume and spread.
I think about the elders in that room. They were ready to cut him off based on hearsay. It took him physically being there to change their minds. We should all be willing to let people prove themselves before we pass judgment.
And the power of prayer. Whether you believe in Abraxas or something else, the idea that Yashao's focus and intention could help Vanessa through her cancer is a beautiful part of the story. It shows that even when we're separated, we can still have a positive impact on each other's lives.
It's a story about the long game. The rumors were a sprint, but the marriage and the family were a marathon. And even after the finish line of the marriage, the story continues. The kids are the legacy of that victory under the tree.
I'm struck by the title he might give this, The Rumors. It's so simple, but it covers everything. It's the spark that started the fire, the obstacle that had to be overcome, and the thing that still follows him today. It's the antagonist of his life.
But he's the hero. He's the one who sat under the tree, who drove the car, who stood in the living room, and who prayed for the healing. He didn't let the rumors define him. He defined himself through his actions and his love.
And that's where we'll leave it. A story of heat and tears, of lies and elders, and ultimately, of a love that survived 100 degrees and 15 years. It's a reminder that even when the sun is at its hottest, there's always a bit of shade if you're willing to fight for it.
Actually, let's dive a bit deeper into that 15-year span. Yashao mentions they created a family of 4 kids. Think about the sheer amount of life that happens in 15 years. The birthdays, the school plays, the quiet mornings, all of that was almost stolen by a single lie.
It's true. When we talk about gossip, we often think of it as just talk, but it has real-world consequences. It's a thief. It tries to steal time. It tries to steal potential. If Yashao hadn't been so stubborn, those 4 children wouldn't even exist. That's a staggering thought.
It really highlights the responsibility we have to the truth. Yashao calls himself a king, and in many cultures, a king's primary duty is to uphold justice and truth. By claiming that title, he's saying he has a duty to be better than the lies being told about him. He has to embody the truth.
And that dignity is what he carried into the elders' meeting. He didn't go in there begging or crying. He went in there as a man who knew his own worth. That's probably what confused the elders the most. They were expecting a bad man, but they found a king.
I still find it so funny that they were all just watching TV. It's such a bizarre detail. It's like the most high-stakes moment of his life was happening in the most mundane setting possible. It really speaks to how life actually works. The big moments don't always happen on a stage. Sometimes they happen in a crowded living room with the news on.
And the way they disappeared, it's like they were fading out of his reality because they were no longer needed. Once they saw him, the trial was over. The verdict was reached without a single word being spoken. The noise from the back of the house was just background noise, like the insects.
It's a very cinematic way of looking at it. The world shrinking down until it's just the two people who matter. Everything else, the elders, the gossip, the ugly cousin, it all just falls away. In that moment, they were free.
But then we have to face the brokenness again. Why did it end? Yashao doesn't give us the details of the divorce, only that it happened and that he hopes for forgiveness. It's a reminder that even when you win the battle against the outside world, you still have to fight the battles inside the relationship.
Maybe the brokenness is what made the love real. A love that's never been tested isn't as strong as a love that's been through the fire. Even if it doesn't last forever, the fact that it survived the rumors and the elders and the first 15 years is a victory in itself.
In his reaction to her cancer diagnosis, that's the real proof of his character, and he could have been bitter. He could have said, "That's what you get for leaving me," but instead he prayed. He went to her state. He celebrated her recovery. That's the king in him coming out again.
It's a very selfless kind of love. It's not about possession. It's about the other person's well-being. He's happy she's strong. He's happy the kids still have their mother. It's a beautiful resolution to a very turbulent story.
And what about the cousin's fate, the accidents, the bills, the animal nature? It's a very stark contrast to the grace he shows Vanessa. It's like he has two different modes: infinite grace for those he loves, and absolute judgment for those who try to destroy that love.
It's a very Old Testament kind of justice, isn't it? An eye for an eye. The cousin tried to ruin Yashao's life, so now the cousin's life is in shambles. Yashao sees the hand of Abraxas in that. It's his way of feeling that the universe is finally balanced.
I think it's a warning to all of us about the energy we put out into the world. If you spend your time spreading lies and trying to break people apart, don't be surprised when your own life starts to crumble. It's a classic theme, but Yashao gives it a very personal, very raw spin.
And he's still dealing with it. He says they still follow me today, doing the same things. It's a reminder that some battles never truly end. You just have to keep being a king and keep trusting that the truth is being watched by something bigger than yourself.
It's a powerful way to end the story. Stop the gossip of others. Amen. It's a prayer, a command, and a conclusion all rolled into one. He's done with the drama. He's done with the lies. He's just focusing on the truth and the healing.
I really hope listeners take that to heart. The next time you hear a juicy bit of gossip about someone's past, remember Yashao and Vanessa under that tree. Remember the tears that weren't sweat. Remember how much is at stake when we talk about other people's lives.
Exactly, Elena. Words aren't just air. They're bricks that can build a wall, or stones that can be thrown. Yashao's story is a call to use our words for building, for praying, and for telling the truth, even when it's hard.
It's been quite a journey from that 100-degree heat to the peace of a cancer-free diagnosis. It shows that life is long, and the chapters keep turning. You just have to keep writing your own story and not let someone else hold the pen.
And maybe, just maybe, if we all stopped the gossip, there would be a lot more kings and queens out there living their best lives without having to fight through a cloud of lies first.
That's a beautiful thought to end on. Thank you, Alex and Elena, for diving into this with me. And thank you, Yashao, for sharing your story. It's a reminder that love, truth, and a little bit of stubbornness can go a long way.
It really can. And remember, Abraxas is watching. So let's make sure we're giving him something good to look at.
Absolutely. Be strong, be kind, and for heaven's sake, stop the gossip. Amen to that.
Amen. We'll see you next time, everyone. Keep your heads up and your hearts open. And if you're under a tree today, I hope it's for shade, not for a goodbye.
Wait, before we go, I just want to reflect on one more thing. Yashao mentions that ugly people, most of them are gossip of lie. It's such a provocative statement. It really shows how he equates inner malice with a lack of beauty. It's almost like he's saying that when you're full of lies, you lose your radiance.
I think that's a really deep point, Alex. It's not about physical features. It's about the energy you project. A person who is constantly trying to tear others down starts to look ugly to everyone around them. Their character becomes their face. And conversely, someone like Vanessa, even in her sickness, remains beautiful to Yashao because of the love they shared.
That's a great distinction. Beauty as a reflection of truth and love, and ugliness as a reflection of deceit and jealousy. It makes the whole story feel even more like a fable or a myth. The king, the beloved, and the deceiver. It's timeless.
It really is. And the setting, the hot sun, the Western Street, the hospital, it's all so grounded in real life, yet it feels so universal. It's the story of every person who has ever had to defend their heart against a lie.
I'm glad he found his peace. I'm glad the kids are okay and Vanessa is healthy. In the end, that's the only thing that really matters. The gossip didn't win. The ugly cousin didn't win. Life won.
Life won. And that's the best ending we could ask for. Thanks again, guys. This has been a really powerful conversation.
Thanks, Ariel. It's been a pleasure to unpack this one.
Definitely. Until next time.
Take care, everyone.